The Vice President of India holds the second most important position in the country after the President. This role is crucial in the functioning of the Indian government. In formal settings, the Vice President is recognized with a status just below that of the President. The way the Vice President operates is inspired by the role of the Vice President in the United States. The Vice President's main responsibility is to serve as the presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha, which is the upper house of the Indian Parliament. This means that they are in charge of conducting meetings and maintaining order during sessions. If the President is unable to fulfill their duties, the Vice President can step in to take over certain responsibilities, although this situation is rare. Under the Indian Constitution, the Vice President is elected through a system called the Single Transferable Vote in an electoral college, which includes the elected members of both houses of Parliament. This process is outlined in Article 66 of the Constitution. The Vice President serves a term of 5 years but is eligible for re-election, meaning they can hold the position for more than one term if they are chosen again. In addition to legislative roles, the Vice President also plays a part in other national matters as needed. They can be involved in discussions and activities aimed at fostering good governance and peace in the country, but primarily they have a role that is more aligned with parliamentary procedures. The Vice President must uphold the Constitution and laws of India, as their actions are guided by these important documents. Their position is not just ceremonial, it carries significant responsibilities that have a direct impact on the legislative process in India. Therefore, this position is vital to maintaining the country's democratic structure and functioning effectively alongside the President and the Parliament. Election of the Vice President of India. The Vice President of India is chosen through an indirect election, similar to how the President is elected. However, there are some key differences in the electoral process for these two high offices. The Vice President is elected by an electoral college made up of members from both houses of Parliament, which consists of the Lok Sabha, House of the People, and the Rajya Sabha, Council of States. Unlike the electoral college for the President, which includes only the elected representatives of the Parliament and the elected members of the state legislative assemblies, the Electoral College for the Vice President includes both elected and nominated members of Parliament. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, one of the architects of the Indian Constitution, explained the reasoning behind this distinction. He noted that the President serves as the head of the state and has powers that affect both the central government and the state governments. Thus, it is important for members of state legislatures to have a role in electing the President. In contrast, the Vice President primarily functions as the presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha. He or she may occasionally step in to take on presidential duties, but this is rare and typically temporary. Therefore, Dr. Ambedkar concluded that it wasn't necessary for state legislators to be involved in the election of the Vice President. The election method for the Vice President mirrors that of the President. Both elections are conducted using a system called proportional representation, which utilizes the single transferable vote. Voting is carried out in secret to ensure confidentiality. In cases of disputes or issues during the election of the Vice President, the Supreme Court of India is responsible for investigating the concerns and delivering a final judgment. It is important to note that the election of a Vice President cannot be contested merely because there might have been vacancies among the Electoral College members at the time of voting. Even if a Vice President's election is later declared invalid by the Supreme Court, any actions taken by that individual during their term before the declaration will still be considered valid and continue to be in effect. Furthermore, the election process is governed by specific articles of the Indian Constitution. Article 63 provides for the office of the Vice President, while Article 65 addresses the election process and conditions for assuming office. Article 68 deals with the timing of elections, ensuring that the vice president is elected as soon as possible after the office becomes vacant. The history of vice presidential elections in India is chronicled in various summaries, detailing each election and the individuals who have held the office. This illustrates not only the procedural integrity of the elections but also highlights the importance of the vice president's role within the Indian political system. Through this indirect election process, the vice president helps to maintain the smooth functioning of parliament and represents the country in various capacities, reinforcing their role in the democratic framework of India. To be voted in as the vice president of India, a person must meet certain requirements laid out in the Indian Constitution. These qualifications are important to ensure that only eligible individuals can hold this significant position in the government. First and foremost, the individual must be a citizen of India. This means that they have to be born in India or have acquired Indian citizenship through other means. This requirement is fundamental so that the person serving in this high office has a strong commitment to the country. Next, the candidate should be at least 35 years old. This age requirement ensures that the candidate has enough life and professional experience to handle the responsibilities that come with being the vice president. It also reflects the expectation that leaders should have a certain level of maturity and wisdom. Additionally, the candidate must be qualified to be elected as a member of the Rajya Sabha, which is the upper house of India's parliament. To become a member of the Rajya Sabha, a person should have the necessary qualifications and not be disqualified under any law. This ensures that the vice president has a strong understanding of legislative processes and governance. Moreover, the individual cannot hold any office of profit while being a candidate. An office of profit generally refers to a position that grants a salary or benefits. However, there are exceptions to this rule. For instance, current presidents, vice presidents, governors of states, and union or state ministers do not fall under this restriction, allowing them to run for the vice presidential position without any disqualification. When someone wishes to be nominated as a candidate, they must have their nomination papers signed by at least 20 electors who support them, known as proposers, and another set of at least 20 electors supporting their nomination as seconders. This requirement helps to ensure that candidates have a basic level of support before being considered for the role. Lastly, there is a financial requirement. Every candidate must submit a security deposit of 15,000 rupee to the Reserve Bank of India. This deposit is a way of demonstrating the seriousness of the candidate's intention to contest the election. If the candidate fails to secure a certain percentage of votes, this deposit may be forfeited. These qualifications are outlined in Article 66 of the Indian Constitution. In addition, the qualifications regarding the election process for the vice president are regulated by various electoral laws, including the Representation of the People Act, 1951, which governs the conduct of elections in the country. Understanding these requirements and regulations is crucial for anyone interested in the political process in India and aspiring to hold public office. Before the Vice President of India can officially start their role, they must take an oath or make an affirmation. This is an important formal step that shows their commitment to the country and its constitution. In this oath, the Vice President promises two main things. First, they swear to be loyal and faithful to the Constitution of India. This means that they agree to uphold the values and principles laid down in the Constitution, which acts as the supreme law of the land. Second, the Vice President commits to fulfilling their duties diligently and responsibly. This is crucial because the Vice President plays a significant role in the functioning of the government and must serve the nation to the best of their abilities. The process of administering this oath is carried out by the President of India or a designated person selected for this purpose. According to Article 68 of the Indian Constitution, the oath or affirmation must be taken before the Vice President assumes office. It's also worth mentioning that the Constitution provides a structured framework for the responsibilities of the Vice President. For instance, Article 63 states that there shall be a Vice President of India, while Article 64 explains that the Vice President will act as the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha, which is the upper house of Parliament. This role comes with various responsibilities, including maintaining order in the House and ensuring that parliamentary rules are followed. In summary, taking the oath or affirmation is a vital step for the Vice President of India, as it not only signifies their commitment to the Constitution but also outlines the duties they need to perform while in office. The procedures and duties are clearly defined in articles of the Indian Constitution, reflecting the importance of this position in maintaining the integrity and functionality of the Indian democratic system. The office of the Vice President of India comes with specific rules outlined in the Constitution. Understanding these rules is important for grasping the role and responsibilities that this position entails. First, the Constitution states that the Vice President cannot be a member of either the Lok Sabha, House of the People, or the Rajya Sabha, Council of States, which are the two houses of Parliament. Additionally, this rule applies to the state legislatures as well. This means that if someone who is a member of any legislative body is elected as Vice President, they will automatically lose their seat in that legislative body the moment they begin their term as Vice President. This rule ensures that the Vice President can focus on their duties without any conflicts of interest that could arise from holding dual positions. Secondly, the Constitution specifies that the Vice President should not hold any other office of profit. This means the Vice President cannot occupy any other government position that pays a salary or any financial benefits. This rule is in place to maintain the integrity of the office and to ensure that the Vice President can dedicate their time and effort solely to their responsibilities, which include presiding over meetings of the Rajya Sabha and supporting the President of India in various functions. These conditions are rooted in Articles 63 and 64 of the Indian Constitution. Article 63 states that there shall be a Vice President of India, and Article 64 outlines the responsibilities of the Vice President, which includes being the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. The rules around eligibility help maintain the Vice President's impartiality and authority, allowing them to effectively support the legislative process and the functioning of the government. In summary, the Vice President of India must adhere to specific conditions, ensuring that the position remains free from conflicts of interest and dedicated to serving the country. Understanding these conditions provides a clearer picture of the Vice President's role and the importance of maintaining a transparent and effective government. Term of office for the Vice President of India. The Vice President of India serves for a period of 5 years starting from the day they begin their role. However, it is important to note that they have the option to resign from this position at any time. If the Vice President wishes to resign, they need to write a resignation letter addressed to the President of India. In addition to resigning, the Vice President can also be removed from office before the end of their 5-year term. Unlike some other high offices, the removal of the Vice President does not require a formal impeachment process. Instead, the Vice President can be removed through a special procedure. A resolution must be passed by a majority of all members of the Rajya Sabha and must also be approved by the Lok Sabha. In simpler terms, this means that the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of Parliament, must approve the resolution with a significant majority, while the Lok Sabha, the lower house, only needs a simple majority for agreement. It is crucial to understand that this resolution can only be introduced in the Rajya Sabha and not in the Lok Sabha. Additionally, the members must be given at least 14 days' notice before a motion for removal can be discussed. Interestingly, the Constitution does not specify any particular reasons for which the Vice President can be removed, leaving this somewhat open-ended. After serving their term, the Vice President is allowed to continue in office until their successor officially takes over. This means that if a new Vice President has not been elected or sworn in, the current Vice President can remain in their position until that happens. Furthermore, the Vice President can run for re-election after their term ends and can serve multiple terms in office, which means there is no limit on the number of terms they can hold as Vice President. The relevant articles in the Indian Constitution that outline the rules concerning the Vice President's term and removal include Article 63, which discusses the office of the Vice President, and Article 67, which elaborates on the conditions of their removal. This makes it clear that the role of the Vice President is significant and well-defined within the framework of Indian democracy. The office of the Vice President of India can become vacant in several different ways. First, the most common reason is the end of the Vice President's 5-year term. In this case, a new election must be held to choose a successor before the current term expires. Other reasons for a vacancy can include resignation. If the Vice President decides to step down from their position for personal or professional reasons, they will submit their resignation. The office can also become vacant due to removal, which can occur if the Vice President is impeached. Such a process is based on charges of violation of the Constitution, following the procedure laid out in Article 61 of the Indian Constitution. Additionally, a vacancy can result from the death of the Vice President. If this unfortunate event occurs, it is essential for the government to act quickly to fill the position. There could also be other circumstances leading to disqualification, such as if the Vice President is found guilty of a legal issue or if their election is declared void due to irregularities. This situation aligns with the provisions outlined in Articles 102 and 103 of the Constitution, which deal with disqualifications for membership in Parliament. When any of these events take place, the Election Commission of India manages the process for holding an election to select the next Vice President. If the vacancy arises due to resignation, removal, or death, the election should occur as soon as possible. The new Vice President, once elected, will serve a full 5-year term from the day they take office, providing continuity in this important role in the government. It's crucial for the functioning of Indian democracy that there is always a sitting Vice President, as this person plays a vital role in the parliamentary system, including succeeding the President in case of a vacancy in that office as outlined in Article 65 of the Constitution. Powers and functions of the Vice President of India. The Vice President of India has important roles, which can be divided into two main areas. First, the Vice President serves as the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha, which is the upper house of Parliament. In this role, the Vice President has powers and responsibilities similar to those of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, which is the lower house. This means that the Vice President is responsible for overseeing the proceedings of the Rajya Sabha, maintaining order, and ensuring that discussions run smoothly. Interestingly, this role is akin to that of the Vice President of the United States, who also chairs the Senate, the American legislature's upper house. Second, the Vice President can temporarily take on the role of President of India when the presidency becomes vacant. This vacancy can occur due to situations such as the resignation, impeachment, or death of the sitting president. The Vice President can only serve in this capacity for a maximum of 6 months, during which a new president must be elected. Additionally, if the current president is unable to perform their duties due to illness or any other reason, the Vice President steps in to perform these functions until the president is able to return. However, it's important to note that when the Vice President is acting as the President, they do not perform their duties as the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Instead, these responsibilities are taken over by the Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. In terms of compensation, the Constitution does not specify a separate salary for the Vice President while they are acting as the President. Instead, the Vice President receives their regular salary for their role as Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. In 2018, the salary for the Chairman was raised from 2.1 lakh rupees to 4 lakh rupees per month. Additionally, in 2008, the pension for retired Vice Presidents was increased from 20,000 rupee per month to 50% of their last drawn salary. Besides their salary and pension, Vice Presidents receive various benefits, such as a daily allowance, a free furnished residence, and medical and travel facilities. It's also important to understand the constitutional framework regarding the Vice President's roles. Article 63 of the Indian Constitution states that there shall be a Vice President of India, while Article 64 outlines that the Vice President will not only act as the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha but also serves as the President in the event of a vacancy. The provisions about the Vice President's powers and functions underscore their significance in maintaining the stability of government and ensuring the continuity of leadership in the country. Overall, the Vice President of India plays a critical role in the legislative process and the overall governance of India, with defined powers and responsibilities as outlined in the Constitution. A comparison of the Vice Presidency in India and the United States. The role of the Vice President in India has some similarities to that of the Vice President in the United States, but there are notable differences that shape their functions and responsibilities. In the United States, if the President is unable to fulfill their duties, the Vice President immediately takes over as President for the remainder of the term. This transition ensures continuity in the leadership of the country. The American Vice President also has a significant role in the government, including being the President of the Senate, where he or she can cast a tie-breaking vote on legislation. In India, the situation is somewhat different. When the office of the President becomes vacant due to reasons like resignation, death, or impeachment, the Indian Vice President steps in only as an acting President. This means that the Vice President temporarily performs the duties of the President until a new President is elected. This process is laid out in Article 65 of the Indian Constitution, which states that the Vice President will act as President when the position is vacant. However, the Vice President does not serve a full term in the presidential office, which means there is no opportunity for continuity in leadership like in the United States. This limited function of the Indian Vice President has led to some scholars referring to the role as His Superfluous Highness, suggesting that the position lacks substantial power or responsibilities within the government structure. The main purpose of establishing the Vice Presidency in India was to ensure that there is a smooth transition and political continuity during times when the presidential office is unoccupied. Moreover, the Indian Constitution outlines the Vice President's general responsibilities, which include presiding over the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of Parliament, as stipulated in Article 89. In this role, the Vice President facilitates discussions and maintains decorum during sessions. While the position may not have the same level of visibility or power as some other offices, it serves a critical function within the parliamentary framework of India. In summary, while the Vice President of India is modelled similarly to that of the United States, the functions, especially in terms of succession, differ significantly. The Indian Vice President's role is more ceremonial in nature, ensuring that the governance continues smoothly until a new president is appointed, making it an important, albeit relatively limited, position in the Indian political system.